This show is sponsored by Skylight Frames. Skylight Frames is more than just a photo frame. It's a magical way to keep loved ones close no matter the distance. With Skylight, you can share the joy of a special moment, a silly snapshot, or a treasured memory instantly, making it the perfect present for anybody who values connection and family. So, with that, there's no better way to put a smile on your loved one's face than to share a special moment with them. Whether it's a glimpse of the kids being silly, a magical moment from vacation, or something sentimental from the years past, Skylight Frames can bring your favorite memories to life right in your home. It's for everybody who is tech savvy or not, so your parents and your grandparents can get in on this. It's a new way to connect with the family, especially for those who aren't really big on smartphones. The simple user friendly design, it's perfect for parents and grandparents, easy for everybody to get along. And for those who love a little pizzazz, a little extra with their tech savvy apps, Skylights Plus software offers advanced features that enhance the experience. One standout feature is Doodles, where you can draw a picture on the app and it appears directly on your loved one's skylight frame, adds a personal touch to it. And the other great feature is greeting cards, where you can choose from hundreds of different designs, send an interactive card that appears to be on the frame, and then creating special moments for birthdays, holidays, or just because. And it's beloved by millions because millions of families have fallen in love with the Skylight frames. Close to 2 million frames sold across 34 countries around the world, and over 675 million photos and videos shared. Now, the holiday season, give the gift that keeps on giving memories, whether it's for grandparents who adore seeing the grandkids' latest antics, or a friend who loves capturing every moment. The Skylight frame is the perfect gift to bring joy and connection into any home. It's easy to use. You can quickly set it up and you can start instantly sharing with no app or subscription required. And a quick 1 minute setup. It's designed to be easy for all ages. You can simply plug in the frame and you're ready to get going with sharing memories. It's got an intuitive touchscreen display. It's interactive and engaging, 10 inches. The gift mode that they have, it can be the ultimate surprise because you preload your favorite photos before gifting them the Skylight frame. So right away when they plug it in, it's going to be welcomed with special memories ready for immediate enjoyment. It's got seamless sharing. You can invite family and friends to join in on the fun. Photos can be shared easily from the Skylight mobile app or email. No account or subscription required. And it's got an offline mode as well, so you can already view the existing photos without the need for a Wi-Fi connection. And it can be connected in under 60 seconds whenever you do need to update it. It's better than social media. It's more private, can be shared amongst with the family. It's a top-rated brand with over 1 million happy customers, thousands of five-star reviews. It can store up to 8,000 photos with 8 gigabytes of space, and it looks beautiful in your home. And in the end, they're confident that you'll love Skylight, that they offer a free 120-day return. So, for a limited time, get 20% off your purchase of a Skylight frame when you go to ca.skylightframe.com/hockey. That's right. To get 20% off your Skylight frame, just go to ca.skylightframe.com/hockey. Still didn't hear me? That's ca.skylightframe.com/hockey. Welcome to the Blazing Pucks podcast.
Oh, shit.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am your host, Victor Manuel.
And I am your other host, Carmichael Manfredi. Guys, thank you so much for tuning into the monumental episode 69, nice, of the Blazing Pucks podcast. Canucks podcast you still listen to 69 episodes in when your kids are not around. Victor, my friend, how are you doing, brother?
Oh, I am fucking vibing and surviving as usual. It has been interesting leading up to winter times, bro. Cold, dark, but feeling the good holiday vibes, bro, at the same time. How are you doing?
Excellent, man. Excellent. That's what I like to hear. And yeah, we are definitely feeling the holiday vibes over here. That's for sure. It's getting a lot colder. Yeah, no, for me, I'm doing great, man. I started a new job, not this upcoming Monday, but the Monday after. So very much looking forward to that. And looking forward to the, so far the Canucks road trip is going to be a lot of fun to talk about.
Yes, it is opposite of what the weather is being like here. It is a good hot freaking streak right now. We are road warriors still, man. Yeah, a lot got a few games to unpack right now from our last episode. Carm, which games are we going to run through here?
Well, we're going to go through the game that is currently playing right now, the Canucks and the Wild, currently tied 2-2. And obviously, we're going to go over the games from the rest of their trip, right? So the last game was in Detroit. We got the Sabres game and the Penguins game, all to get into amongst some more injury news.
The injury bug is fucking us up. It is
totally.
Do you sorry to cut off? Do you remember that Family Guy scene where like Brian and Sue enter like this dirty hotel and it's like these two like freaking Beatles? They're like, "Hey, homie, we gonna cut you up so bad. You ain't wish I cut you up so bad."
I don't remember that specific one. No.
Well, those are the type of injury bugs that are fucking us up right now. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, the dickhead injury bugs, clearly. Yeah, so you know what? Why don't we start from the back of the road trip then? Why don't we start from that Penguins game?
Yeah, that with context of being the second game of a back-to-back, Seahawks being in net. What a messy fucking game that Pittsburgh Penguin game was, eh?
Totally. And they looked like a team that was on, the second game of a back-to-back for sure. Right? They didn't have their legs. I know hey, look, to their credit, they tried to make it a game near the end. Right? They really came back from 5-1 to 5-4. And if any team was going to choke that lead, it was going to be the Penguins. But I hate kind of pinning it all on Shilovs. He is still struggling really bad. Right. There's maybe a few goals that game that I think he'd like to have back. Few of them he was left hanging. Right.
It wasn't all his fault.
Yeah, it wasn't all his fault, but I think it was that second goal from Brian Rust. He got beat clean from a far distance. Those pucks can't go in.
Yeah, and that's been literally the theme of one of the weaknesses in his game since the home opener.
Yeah. Calgary took advantage of it.
They really did. And again, like you mentioned, it's not all on Seelovs. It's just, another tough break for the kid. We want to see him succeed. And I definitely think at this point now, get him AHL, develop his confidence again there. He's still young for the age of a goaltender. But, besides that, the other problem, like we mentioned, that weren't on Seelovs was the defense. Was just in general, not the blue line alone, but just the overall team defense.
Yeah.
It was non-existent.
It was nothing. They looked lost. Yeah. That was the problem. They looked lost. And from a game, from a gutsy performance against Boston, which, can we honestly say, it's funny. Sat Shaw brings it up. If you have the best player on the ice, do you not deserve to win? And I guess he's right there. But we know that was a gutsy winner versus Boston, right? Where, Boston definitely was the better team. There's no doubt about it. But they found a way to win, right? Whereas, the second half of the back with the Penguins, they found a way to lose. They really fucked it for themselves in that. Was it the second period? It was the second period, right?
For all those goals?
Yeah.
It was the first period.
It was the first period. That's right.
We literally just fucking dug a hole 4-1 by first period.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, yes. And they got the fifth one in the second. Okay.
Yeah, no.
You know what? On one end, though, and maybe I'm just, optimist here, but it would have been so easy for that team to just roll over and die like a possum, right?
For sure.
They still made, they at the end, right? Hughes comes in, and that was a nice thing that I did see is, we saw Hughes kind of command it in the beginning of the period. They needed a goal bad, right? In that moment. Right, they got the 5-2 goal. They needed it. Hughes skates in. Nice goal off the backhand. Boom, done deal. But for most of that game, they looked lost. They didn't look like they knew who their man was or what the fuck they wanted to do in the defensive zone, though, hey?
Yeah, they literally were puck watching like a freaking deer on headlights, or I don't know. There were so many times where just that whole the Susie Juleson pairing was one that stood out to me where they were really just not being able to follow their man or getting beat pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Our back check was not as strong, and Yeah, you know what though? Like you were mentioning, it's nice that we are a resilient team. We do got a lot of fight in them, and Quinn Hughes is. I don't know what else to say, man. If that is not one of the most exact like stud examples of the current like NHL active captains right now, he's fucking. You can on and off the ice. He's a guy that when the moment calls for it, he'll step up, he'll rally everyone, and he'll push the play forward. Two, he's a guy that you can always rely on to make like he'll be consistent with making something happen.
Without a
What
doubt.
what more do you want from a captain right now in those
What
times?
what are other teams getting from their captains right now? Right,
Mm-hmm.
that's number one. I mean, he's in the got to be in the conversation for the Hart Trophy. I mean, I know Kaprizov's having a killer year, right? But with what Hughes is doing, he's not changing his game, but he's making so much more of a difference, right? There's a lot of things that happen because Hughes has the puck on his stick, especially now with Jake DeBrusk actually scoring. He's got a lot of his confidence back now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you're absolutely right, man. He's such a joy to watch. And what would we be without Quinn Hughes, man? Like, what would we be?
We'd be another shade of the Benning era type Canucks because we always had such horrible defense back then. However, to segue this now into like the next couple games, because you did mention something that we have to bring up, and we've seen in both the Buffalo game and of course as the title in the Detroit game. But let's bring it to the Buffalo game because Jake DeBrusk is getting his confidence back, and Connor fucking Garland is being a menace on the ice.
Yes, yes. A
Dude,
menace is like an understatement for what Connor Garland is doing right now. Like he is really, really. I don't even want to say stepping up because that feels like an understatement. I feel like he's doing more than stepping up. He's exactly what his team needs right now.
you know, he's willing to get into every single battle. What I'm
Yeah.
seeing here, it's more and more. You know how there was a couple years, like last season, I'd say was like the least amount of spins we had seen from Connor Garland.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
I like that now, even though like it hasn't went back to spinny mode, that it seems like he's also found that shifty spin and knows when to use it in the right time with his game. Whether it's amongst the boards, whether it's swooping in real quick to fucking steal a puck from under someone on the forecheck, whether he needs to create some space so that it gives time for the other people to like, other forwards to get up the ice. Connor Garland just knows where to be at the right place and right time. And the reason why is because he fucking fights for every inch of ice he's on and he's after.
Totally, man. Totally. And there's even a lot of plays that I'm seeing where he's being so cerebral to the fact that like he's taking advantage of his height, but for the fact that he's short. Like he's taking advantage of the fact that most guys can't get as low to the ice as he can. So he can, like you said, slip right underneath with the puck, steal the puck, whatever he has to do. But he's in those battles and he's coming up victorious because he's just so fucking hard to hit. He's slippery.
Yeah, slippery. I can imagine all the liquid that motherfucker drank during his Movember mustache. Slippery. Because that man had a mean stash, dude.
Dude,
I don't know if you noticed his stash.
Dude, he looked like one of those like ranch wranglers, but he was running it like he was ripped from Yellowstone instead of being one of the cowboys, you know?
Yeah, straight up. I could see that. I also saw comparisons to like the dad from Inside Out. Riley.
Totally. Yeah, that's good too. I saw a few Lanny McDonald ones too, and I'm like the thickness of the stash is still it's beautiful.
Lanny McDonald is still like top 5 stash overall.
Oh, buddy,
With, like,
I would almost even say top 3, man. Like that stash was just unbelievable. Still has it to this day. You can't get rid of a stash like that. It's just so fucking monumental, man.
Oh, straight the fuck up, bro. Straight up. But yeah, so no, Connor fucking Garland. Can't be enough to said about. You know who how are you feeling right now about the progression of Dakota Joshua getting back into the flow of his game? Right now Joshua has mainly been playing who's he mainly been playing with again?
He's playing with Suter and Garland mainly.
Yeah, Suter and Garland mainly. Like Honestly, I feel like I am so grateful. I know Sherwood has been a great step up in addition, especially when Joshua was out of the lineup,
That's
for
right.
being that energy, that bash brother, fuck you type mentality on the ice and like laying the body. But you know, I really like to see that Dakota Joshua is so fearless still with
Yeah.
everything that that fucker's battled through right now. I can only imagine.
Oh, 100%. And I mean, I'm starting to see him make plays again now. Instead of him
Yeah.
just getting his feet under him and I mean, obviously you gotta expect the guy to be rusty, right? It is what it is. But I'm seeing him make plays now, like plays he would have made last year, and starting to
Mhm.
get some offense going on his stick. He's starting to hold the puck a little bit more, use his body. I mean, he's still got some rust to shake off, but for me, I mean, from the progression that I've seen, I'm happy. Like as a Canucks fan, I'm happy. How about you? How
Yeah.
do you feel?
Oh, for sure. Me too, man. I mean, you know, even prior to the news of him discovering he had cancer over the summer and, you know, that whole journey alone, excluding the sports, the athlete in it, um, for me, I already had low expectations to him succeeding or like getting into his groove and into his game right off the bat. But I really do like to see him make those plays. I like to see that he's not scared to throw the body around. I feel like the second half of the season for him, he can really strike lightning and get into a groove again, so long as all stays healthy with Dakota Joshua. But this team, I can tell, our bottom six, with and without him, he makes such a huge difference to the team. And I really wouldn't see it any other way for him not being a Canuck. I'm grateful that he's a fucking Canuck.
Oh, same with me, man. Like he's important to the team, even through everything.
Yeah,
Like
100%.
without a doubt. And I like you said it perfectly. I'm fucking proud that he's a Canuck, dude. I'm so proud that he's a Canuck.
Mm-hmm. You know what else? Okay, we got to talk about it now because of speaking of proud of someone being a Canuck right now.
Yeah.
The Detroit game, the DeBrusk caddy,
Yes.
dude. Where has DeBrusk kind of? He's gotten
That's a
5
second hat
goals.
trick. It's a second
Yeah,
hat trick total.
second career hat trick.
Yeah.
He got a goal against the former.
Oh, I think you're on mute, brother. Oh.
How about now?
There we go.
There
There
we
we go. I
go.
don't know what
Had
happened there.
little technical glitch, technical difficulties, but as I was mentioning, got the goal. On he's been pretty consistent, but 5 goals in the last 3 games. Dude, where the fuck is this magic coming from out of nowhere?
Honestly, man, this is just what Jake DeBrusk is. He's a streaky scorer. Scorer.
Score.
He's a streaky scorer, man, right? Like, and honestly, like, I don't know if you saw the first goal of tonight's game, Hughes' goal. Like, it looked like it went off to Brusk, so he might even get credit for that later. Who knows? I'm not sure if they've adjusted it. But so, I mean, if that is the case, that's what, 6 goals in his last 3 games?
Yeah, 6 goals and 1 assist, which is fucking insane.
Insane, right?
But
Insane. But how much of that do you feel like has to do with PD's elevated play?
for sure, you know what? It's funny how the first couple of weeks of the season we were seeing DeBrusk mesh better with Miller and Besser.
Yeah.
But obviously, given since the line juggling due to injuries, Miller being out of the lineup, we're seeing exactly what we were hoping to see in the preseason when we signed DeBrusk, which is him and Petey gelling well. Pedersen is getting back into form, though he may not be there with his speed, as a lot of the news has broken out with the data. He's slowed down, but his hockey IQ, his hands, his finesse with passing, and he's slowly getting a shot back. But
Yeah.
dude, it is really elevating DeBrusk into a sick hot streak, and I can just only tell that his next cold streak is just going to piss us off so much because I don't know if you already know this. We've talked about it. His profile from Boston was a streaky scorer, but when he's on his game, he's dope.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
that's what it's always been that way, and it's also interesting to note that he's a great playoff performer as well too.
which is exactly what we're gonna need.
Exactly right now in that Detroit game, he just took over, man.
He really did, dude. He scored. What I loved about DeBrusk's performance during that Detroit game is that he scored three different types of goals. You
Yeah,
know, what was it? Because the first one was net front kind of tip, I
yeah,
believe. The second one was more of like a greaser, like tap in from being around like the paint. And then the third one, which was the beauty, was the
yeah.
OT snipe. Like, what a distance of a shot. And but when you heard that ping, you were like,
Oh, oh, that like that deserves
that's
a
one.
double wrister for sure, man. Like without
Yeah.
a doubt. Like, oh, just it's that sound of the post, and also just side speaking of sound of the post, shout out Patrick Laine, very first
Yes.
game with the Habs, scores first goal of the game.
We
Won
love
won
you,
me quite a
Habs.
bit of money. I had a funny feeling.
Yeah.
But same thing with that snipe, right? It's hearing that post, man. There's nothing better than doing that, especially when it's a GWG, when it's a game winning goal.
Ooh,
And then
absolutely.
he just absolutely lost his shit after, right? So this is a guy who's now playing with confidence. I'm noticing now he's not just playing to the outside; he's playing a little bit more physical because he's a
Yeah.
he's a wider dude, right? Like he can take some of that physicality, and
Yeah. DeBrusk is a big boy.
he is right. And I mean, he played for the Bruins for years, right? So they play a pretty physical brand of hockey.
Mhm.
Um, excuse me, maybe not so much these days, but definitely in the earlier days. So
Mhm.
yeah, I'm loving to see it. It's just nice to see that PD has someone to go along with him. Like, you always want to have guys in pairs, right? Miller's got Besser, and it looks like PD's got DeBrusk.
Absolutely. And then, bringing that line, that depth, everything fully running. I can already just tell that once we're fully healthy, this team is going to be completely different, and I'm excited for that. You know what else I'm also excited for? Our next ad read here for the 2025 NHL season from DraftKings, because the 2024-25 NHL season still has that new car smell, and the action is heating up at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. Super easy for first timers to get started at DraftKings Sportsbook. Try betting on something simple like picking a team to win. And if you're new to DraftKings, listen up, because new customers bet $5 to go into $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use the code THPN. That's code THPN for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boo Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas, 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bet must win to receive reward. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming sources, see dkng.co/ice. Copyright NHL 2024. All rights reserved. Boom.
Boom, boom, my friend.
Boom, my friend.
Um,
Excuse me,
now one
sir.
thing I want to make sure that we get into is the injury to Mr. Hronek.
Yes, that is a must, because holy shit, man,
What the
that
what the
sucks.
fuck is it with Canucks and losing players in like the last minute of a game?
Yeah, because that was at the very last. Was it the Pittsburgh game or the
It was the
Buffalo game?
Pittsburgh game,
It was
yeah.
the Pittsburgh game. Yeah, it was the very last minute. I think it was Marcus Patterson was the one who
Yeah.
pushed him into
Yeah.
the boards. So fucking funny enough, ironically, how much he's been engaged in trade rumor talks and linked to us,
No
that it
kidding.
would be him. But you know, the thing with Hronek is we acquired him while he was recovering from an injury. Could have been a shoulder one. We know that he played with an injury last season near the end of it, and even though he denied it, and this now is another shoulder injury. Unfortunately, I'm not too certain if it's the same one. If it is, fuck. And yeah, that's a big blow to our blue line. What are the thoughts that you're thinking about with Hronek's loss and what that means to the team?
Well, I mean, for us, like our right side's obviously our weaker side because we don't have a second Quinn Hughes. But
Mhm.
with Hronek, he brings out the best in Quinn Hughes. I mean, we've seen that no matter what, Quinn Hughes is going to play good with whoever, right? We
Mhm.
know that. We know that that's his preferred partner, and we know that Hronek defensively, like he's a mean motherfucker, dude.
He
When he's
is.
back there, like he is a mean motherfucker. So it's definitely a hit, right? But like, who do you think has to step up the most in order to replace Hronek's like his in his absence? Like, who needs to have the biggest step up? You think?
It's a good question. Overall, if we're directing it to who needs to fill in Hronek's shoes and the one who has the best opportunity and most responsibility to do that, given that they're veteran, Tyler Myers,
Yeah, that's what I was
right?
thinking too. Yeah,
Especially being on the right side. Overall, Quinn Hughes for sure has to be the one because the captains,
yeah,
especially if you're the number one D man alone, that in itself knows that you need to step up so that the team can rely on you a little bit more back there. Because I mean, outside of Hughes and yeah, now with losing Hronek, given the season that Myers and Susie have been having, we have a bunch of misfits back there.
yeah. We definitely do have a bunch of misfits, and I think the thing that I struggle with that, and I know we've talked about it a lot here, is their consistency.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like do I think Carson Susie stays this way all year? I really don't think so. He's definitely been having some better games.
Mm-hmm.
He even got a shift in overtime last game too. He was,
Yeah, he did, right?
yeah, he had a shift in overtime, which I mean says all like wonders. Now, unfortunately, I haven't been able to watch a crazy amount of this game so far up till now,
Mm-hmm.
just because of the timing and how everything worked out. So I don't really know how Susie's been playing today. I do know they're still deadlocked at 2-2.
Ooh.
So they're hanging in there with Minnesota, and there's about 2 minutes left in the third. So hopefully they can
Ooh.
squeeze this one out. If they can squeeze out a point in this game, I think that's fucking huge, especially at the end of a road trip.
Yes.
So anyway,
And their circumstances too.
exactly, and the circumstances. So you know what? Actually, that's another topic to get into here, just as we're kind of wrapping up the Detroit game. But Matt, is this not a great opportunity for the boys to rally? Like, you imagine when Demko gets back, when Hronek gets back, when Miller gets back, and they got PD firing on the cylinders. Obviously, there's another step in his game. We've all seen it, but
Yeah.
with what we're happening here, he's putting up great points.
Mm-hmm.
DeBrusk is scoring on his line. Besser's looking like he's returning back to form. Like, this is a great opportunity for the boys to really rally and get themselves set and pumped up for the playoffs, don't you think?
Absolutely. And perfect time for management to figure something out in the trade market for defensemen to help bolster our stuff. But yeah, this is a great time for the boys to rally. I think the one thing that unfortunately, while this hasn't been playing too well into the Canucks' favor, but if somehow they can get it together and maybe elevate from this, Vinny Desharnais,
Yeah.
I know a lot of people have written him off. He's already had like things in the past. He's been scratched a few times.
A bunch of times.
I mean, from what I remember hearing when I was listening to Halford and Bruff earlier, um, he was on the ice for all 3 goals against for Detroit.
Oof.
Yeah, he was responsible for all that. And you know, you want to see a guy who, on the physical side of things, has the tools and talent to at least play a very solid, big body defensive role on a team. It's just that the constant mistakes, they really put a stain on your game on the ice. And that's unfortunately something that, Vinny DeHarnay, if he really can have it in him to dig through that and, clean up his game a lot more, he really could be a make or break piece for us.
I agree, man, because he's huge. Like, he's huge, and he's also a right shot defenseman. And just like you said, he has the talent. He has the things in his toolbox to, like, we're not even asking for this guy to be like Phil Hronek. Like, we're not asking for anything like that. Just don't fuck up, don't get scored on, and lay the body. Really, that's all if I'm Rick Tocchet, that's all I'm looking for. Don't be a fucking liability out there.
Yeah, follow the damn system. Be on your role. Be on your man. Don't get lost puck watching. And lay the fucking body. Use your strength, your physicality. Not even just laying the body and having to be a good hit out there. Use your body position to cut angle off and win puck battles. Take the little quick breather to make the right play or do the play that the system calls for. Exactly. I can see it from now, watching. There's obviously a system with how we want to. Rick Tocchet draws up maneuvering the puck, and here's one thing I wanted to ask you. So how I remember this just came up to me. So I know how the Canucks started their promo this year with a slogan, "Embrace the hard," right?
Yes, there's no way you're a male and you hear that and you don't chuckle, first of all. But yes, continue.
Yeah, of course. They know what they were doing.
They knew exactly what they were doing. You're 100%.
That marketing team knew everything. But it speaks to the degeneracy of the city. And but here's the thing. Do you think that maybe that slogan would have worked if we had kept Zadorov and Lindholm and some of those guys? And maybe the slogan again needs to be what last year's slogan was, which is meet pressure with pressure.
Now, I would agree with your first statement that that would have worked better if we kept. I would have said just Zadorov, maybe not Lindholm.
Yeah, but what
Zadorov's I mean, right? He's a heavy hitting player, Zadorov. So I think that would have been better with him back there. Do I think they miss him 100%? I think, right. I know what you mean. I don't know why meet pressure with pressure was abolished. I mean, I thought that's actually exactly what they should be doing. And it's going to be hard. And I understand where Tocchet's coming from. I mean, this year, teams are not you're not getting anyone's backups.
Yeah.
Right. For the whole season. That's just not how it works. Right.
No.
So I feel like meet pressure with pressure kind of gave them that underdog feeling that they so clearly thrive under.
Yeah.
So maybe that's something.
The thing I get curious about is because they say in marketing, right? And with content out there and all that shit, it's good to repeat the same fundamental message over and over again because it's always going to be new to other people or people hearing it for the first time rather than your fans. So, again, blazing pucks, pro steroids. We repeat.
Yes.
I asked that because, I know they really tried to pivot the culture of embrace the hard. Good message. But I thought about it now and talking about Vinny DeHarnay, I feel like Vinny DeHarnay would be a guy who would benefit from the, hey, meet pressure with pressure fundamental fucking mentality, along with just the overall vibe of the team.
Yeah, you know what? I think that I definitely think you're onto something there.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I don't say that very often. Yeah, exactly. There you go. You beat me to it. You beat me to it. You just
I'm a moderator.
You made it way too damn easy for me. And speaking of making things way too damn easy for you, I'm going to talk about our friends over at Game Time. Guys, what is the best thing about the NHL season starting, aside from having something to do during the week, is going to see the game live and feeling the chill of the ice or the slam of the boards. One of my favorite memories is going to the Canucks playoff game against the Nashville Predators last year. It was super loud. Took me a week to get my hearing back. It was awesome. But Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes tickets to see your favorite teams play even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets because nobody fucking likes that. Guys, the great features on Game Time. So like I mentioned, Game Time Picks is also all in pricing. So if you turn this feature on, it'll show you the total upfront, no bullshit surprise fees at checkout, so you know exactly what you're getting yourself into. Speaking of which, you also get seat views, so you know exactly what your seat is going to look like with a panoramic view in the app before you buy. And also, the lowest price guarantee or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. You are coming out on top, baby. So, Game Time ticket coverage. Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. So, guys, take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time Picks. Download the Game Time app. Create a new account. That's the big one. You got to create a new account and use the code THPN for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem the code THPN for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time.
Hey. Fucking I totally forgot that we have 3 at the moment. But yes,
That's
game
right.
fucking time. Speaking of Game Time, how is the game going so far? Let's give a quick listeners on updates while we're recording.
So the Canucks, we can say they've come away with a point. We are currently in overtime right now. Canucks are in possession in the offensive zone. Who's that? Garland? Somebody's got the puck, or it's Besser.
Man, honestly, that's all I really wanted out of this game result is to know that, you know, given our injury situation, as we were talking about before the sponsory, the big loss to Hronek, and the Wild, I think, being the number 1 team in the league right now.
One of them, yeah.
One of them, if not top 3 amongst the entire league.
Actually, I'm gonna look that up right now while you're talking.
That the fact that we can get to OT with them because we knew they had the edge on us 5-on-5 is huge. And we took advantage of a crucial power play, which is nice to hear because holy fuck were we like pulling our hairs out from our fucking eyelids with our power play. Still do at times. But.
Yeah, we still do this. There's no doubt about that. I mean, it's still not great, but I mean, it's definitely been better. Still missing some pieces there, but I like the insertion of Garland. He looks confident on that power play. It looks like he's making a name for himself up there now.
He really does, dude. He really does. He knows how to make a stick look larger than him too, with that Buffalo OT winning goal.
Oh my god!
What a way of holding the stick that he had, right?
That was great, man. That was, and then he like just got it, and then like he put it like between his legs to like put it in overtime, which was fantastic.
Yeah, that man can like do the Rey Mysterio 619 move and knock me the fuck out totally. Knock anybody the fuck out.
Dude, that guy can like RKO my newborn and I'll say sorry. You know? He can do whatever he wants, in my opinion.
Running this city, Garland.
Here's an interesting one for us to end the show off on here, though, because I know I'm taking a look at time. Is Artie Seelovs, do you look at him as is he ever going to be playable? What do you think?
I don't know about this season once Demko's back, and as long as Demko sticks around and stays healthy, then probably not.
Yeah,
he would only be used for emergency situations,
like last year.
But yeah, unfortunately, I think Seelovs is at a point where the only way, like, the ability to rebuild his confidence looks very slim in NHL games. Yeah. His confidence does need to be rebuilt, being the starter in AHL role.
100%, right? 100%. I mean, at the end of the day, like, he knows he has a huge sample size, like, of what he needs to work on and what that's going to look like, right? So, for instance, like, they brought Lecker up for a cup of coffee for a couple of games, right? Yeah. Scored a great goal, sent him back down to the minors. Now he knows specifically what he needs to work on, and then now he can come up. Next time he comes up, and he'll be better. Well, Seelovs had a whole playoff series of things that he needs to work on. I'd love to see him be able to develop that in the AHL, and fuck, Minnesota just scored. Fuck, that is what it is.
Hey, we got a point.
We got a point. And Canucks also just had a 2-0. Did manage not to score. That's why I was getting distracted while I was talking. But anyway, I'm going to take this off here so I can finish the show in peace.
Yeah, you were the one putting yourself through stress right now. I'm just like, yo, I'm
Yeah,
wait.
exactly. I gotta keep myself updated. But yeah, I mean, even right now, like you have to kind of ride Lincoln unless you have a back to back until Demko comes back.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what, dude? We haven't even mentioned the fact that like fucking Lankinen has just been lights out for majority of the fucking road trip. He broke an NHL record. Like,
Yeah.
come on, man. How grateful are we that we're paying that goalie less than $1 million right now?
Fuck, I know. Kudos to the management staff, man. Like
Straight
how the
up.
fuck they managed to do that. I couldn't tell you. Like
Dude,
it's really incredible.
I'm sure every NHL team outside of the Canucks that needed a goalie are kicking themselves in the fucking teeth for like not pursuing Lankinen.
100%.
Yeah. And
100%. You don't think the Avalanche could use Lankinen right now?
oh, for sure. Dude, I mean, Georgiev got another game pulled today.
Yep. And the Avalanche still managed to win.
Dude, that just goes to show you. See, that's the type of caliber that I know Vancouver Canucks can get to, which is that even when your goalie is shit in the bed, you'll win the game for them. But mind you, it took at least a decent performance of Scott Wedgwood to hold the fort down so that the Avs could get a chance back, you know?
That's exactly right. That's
So
exactly right.
fucking-
But anyway, so yeah, Shelov's. I think he needs at least another year or two in the minors. And hey, listen, like one thing I want to point out too, Carey Price when he first started out. I mean, you remember Yaroslav Halak came in for that playoff series?
Yep, that's
right,
true.
right. And I'm not comparing Shelov's to Carey Price. God no, I would never do that. But
I like how you had to make that very clear.
I had to make that very clear. Yeah, no. I don't want to get caught up and in some other shit. But yeah, I think for Shelovs, he needs to marinate for a few years down in the minors, and then I'll make my decision. But as for right now, I'm not confident putting him in the net. And you can clearly see the players play completely different ways in that.
Yeah, without a doubt. It's not affecting just his development, but it's also affecting the team chemistry and their performance on the ice. And yeah, dude, the way how Lankinen is playing, it's just hard not to want to keep using that. The only worry that the Canucks have until Demko gets healthy again is that they don't run Lankinen into the ground, or that he doesn't get injured, you know?
That's
then from there, if Lankinen gets injured before Demko is back, I'm bashing my head in and giving myself more CTE. Like,
yeah, sound like McSorley.
Yeah, basically. I mean, friggin' I'll McSorley myself at this point. If we lose fucking Lankinen, man.
But, I think that's gonna be the opinion of a full fucking fan base over here.
Yeah, straight up. The whole fan base is just literally a whale picture of like, I want to die. Right? Like, can't take this. Fuck. But
yeah, it's definitely not being chill guys, that's for sure.
Yeah, so much. We're totally chill guys.
Oh man, but Victor, just taking a look at time here, my friend. What do you say we wrap the show up?
I say it's a good time to wrap up the show. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in to episode 69. Nice. And yeah, we really appreciate all that you freaking pour into us, and we pour in back into you. Carm, let our listeners know what they can do if they enjoyed today's episode.
If you enjoyed today's episode, go to Spotify or Apple, hit the subscribe button. That's how we know, and that's how we feel the love. You can also reach out to us on Twitter, or X, I guess, on Instagram and TikTok at the Blazing Pucks. Now, Victor, what can they do if they really like the podcast?
Well, if you really like the podcast and you really want to, tickle our fancy here, give us that 5-star on Apple or Spotify. We'd really appreciate that. On YouTube, follow us, subscribe the live streams that we do these audios from every Tuesday, and leave a comment and let us know any questions you have that we can answer on the show and shoot the shit with. And as always, tune in every Thursday, Spotify, for every single episode that comes out with your 2 favorite BC buds. So, Carm, in Blazing Pucks fashion,
much love.
And go fuck yourself.